Stop. Don't scroll. Don't click away. Don't come back later. Chosen one, what I'm about to release may shock you, and you need to hear it right now, because if you leave this moment, you will miss something that does not repeat. You're watching this for a reason. This is not random timing. This is not coincidence. God led you here with intention, because something powerful is about to happen in your life. And heaven is not wasting time trying to get your attention twice. And listen closely, because God has a warning for you. Stitch your lips, otherwise, chosen one, you speak too much. Yes, God said it. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Not when life gets quieter. Now. Because the delay you've been blaming on the world, the doors you thought were not meant for you, the moments you assumed you had time to fix later, they were not always about your strength. Some of it was about your mouth. Some of it was about what you kept releasing too early, too loudly, too often before it had time to take root. Too many words, too much talking, too much explaining. And you didn't even realize it, but every time you tried to prove yourself, every time you overshared, every time you spoke out of pressure, fear, or impatience, something was being interrupted. Something meant to flow into your life was being slowed down, because you are shifting from wanting to having. This is not just a season of hoping. This is not just another maybe one day. This is a turning point. But this transformation will only fully come if you learn the power of silence. Your prayers, your hopes, your deepest desires, they are already moving into your reality. Yes, already moving. Which means the real danger is not that nothing is happening. The real danger is that you'll keep speaking over what God is building, and you won't even notice you're delaying your own breakthrough until you look up and realize the moment passed. But if you keep speaking over them, you risk delaying their manifestation. And don't dismiss this like it's just a mindset shift. This is bigger than psychology. This is bigger than positive thinking. This is a spiritual and energetic awakening, and you were brought here because you're sensitive enough to feel it before it fully arrives. As a chosen one, you are about to see things fall into place at a speed that will leave you speechless. But to walk fully into it, you must understand the sacred power of silence, because there is something your silence is about to protect, and I'm not going to reveal it yet. Before we go any further, I need you to pause, not the video, but your spirit. Breathe once and recognize what is happening right now. This is not background noise. This is not content. This is a threshold. And if you are truly a chosen one, you will stay until the end, because something in you already knows this was meant for you. Some people won't make it to the end, not because the message isn't powerful, but because the truth is too sharp for an unready heart. They will feel the pull, then retreat. They will sense the door opening, then hesitate like they always have. But you're still here. And that alone is a sign. Because when God is about to shift a life, He doesn't always send comfort first. He sends recognition. He awakens identity. He calls the real you forward. This is the same pattern heaven has always used. When Elijah stood at the cave, the Lord was not in the wind, not in the earthquake, not in the fire, but in a still small voice. And the ones who hear it are never the loud ones. It's the ones who can be still long enough to recognize Him. So hear me, this is your invitation into a sacred space where silence is not just a suggestion. It is a command. And what happens next will not just change what you feel, it will change what you become. In this season, every word carries immense weight. One sentence spoken without discernment can disturb what heaven is arranging in silence. So hear this clearly. Silence is not emptiness. It is discipline. It is a spiritual covering protection over the miracle God is crafting in your life when no one else can see it. And those who embrace it will find themselves aligned with divine timing, not because they forced a door open, but because they stopped touching what God was building. But careless words from an unprepared spirit can scatter blessings before they ever manifest. Think of it like a sacred seed placed into hidden soil. If you keep digging it up to check if it's working, you interrupt the very process meant to bring it to life. God is nurturing something rare in you right now, a life-altering breakthrough. Not common, not ordinary, not meant for the crowd. And the enemy doesn't always attack with destruction, sometimes he attacks with exposure. Your silence becomes the soil, the water, and the sunlight. It creates the conditions for favor to take root and flourish. Every quiet day is an investment. Every moment you refuse to explain yourself is a deposit. And soon, the harvest will astonish you, not because you shouted louder, but because you learned how to protect what was sacred. Silence also tunes your spirit to God's voice in ways speech cannot. Because there are instructions you will never hear in noise. There is clarity that only comes when your lips are stitched and your thoughts are disciplined. It's like when Joshua stood before Jericho, he didn't win by panic. He moved by obedience. And the walls didn't respond to human effort. They responded to heaven's timing. In these critical moments, God is not just waiting for obedience. He is preparing you for a reality that demands focus, patience, and restraint. Your willingness to remain quiet is proof that you trust what you cannot yet see. And faith is the foundation miracles are built on. Before we go any further, pause for a moment. If something is already stirring within you, if this message is reaching into places you rarely speak of, respond with intention. Do something meaningful with what you're sensing right now. First, like this message, so it can reach others who are searching for hope and clarity. Then share it with someone who needs encouragement today, someone who may be ready to receive this confirmation. And if you haven't yet, subscribe the Light of Faith and stay connected not just to a channel, but to a growing stream of messages meant for this season. As we're moving toward 20,000 subscribers, your connection helps ensure this message continues reaching the hearts it was meant for. Now, take a moment to go to the comments and write 999 or 777. And also, share your city and where you're listening from. Let this be a quiet but powerful declaration of readiness and alignment as you move forward. This is not just content. This is confirmation. This is alignment. This is for those who have been quietly preparing for a deeper level of growth and restoration. And to everyone who chooses to support this work through sharing, engagement, or by using the Super Thanks feature, know this: your support is seen, it matters, and it helps this message reach those who need it most. Thank you for being part of this moment. Amen. Words are powerful, but they are also draining. Every unguarded sentence releases energy that was meant to fuel your purpose. And in this season, speaking too soon about your plans, your dreams, or your spiritual encounters doesn't just create noise, it creates distraction. It invites skepticism. It can even awaken opposition you were never meant to fight yet. What feels like harmless conversation can quietly slow the momentum of your breakthrough, delaying the very thing your spirit has been aching to touch. You've seen it before. The moment you share something holy too early, the wrong voices start reaching for it. A co-worker laughs. A friend questions. A relative means well, but plants doubt like a seed. And that subtle weight, those careless reactions, those sideways comments can sabotage months, even years, of careful preparation. That's why some assignments die in the mouth before they ever reach the hands. This is the principle, and it is sharper than most people realize. What you speak into the world must align with what God is speaking into your life. Guarding your words is not secrecy, it is stewardship. It is wisdom. It is the discipline of protecting divine power from being handled by people who don't have the capacity to honor it. Even Jesus moved this way. There were moments he healed and then commanded, "See, thou tell no man." Not because the miracle was weak, but because the timing was sacred. And understand this: unnecessary talking doesn't only expose you, it exhausts you. It drains your spiritual reserves. God's work often requires quiet focus, stillness, and unwavering faith. Because the more you scatter your attention by explaining your journey too soon, the more you weaken your ability to receive revelation. Your breakthrough is not only delayed, it can arrive diminished, incomplete, because your strength has been fragmented. That is why silence is a shield. It is preservation. It keeps you whole. It keeps you sharp. It keeps you protected. So when God unveils what He has prepared for you, you are at full strength to carry it. Words are far more than sound. They are carriers of power vessels that shape atmosphere, direction, and outcome. Every statement you release leaves a spiritual imprint that can either cultivate destiny or obstruct it. Speaking without wisdom is like scattering seed into a storm. A few may survive, but most are swept away, trampled, or corrupted before they ever take root. Once you recognize this hidden power, you stop treating conversation as casual, and you start treating it as creation. And that is where silence reveals its true nature. Silence is not absence, it is strategy, a deliberate act of spiritual focus. The ones God trusted with weighty assignments always guarded their mouths. Abraham carried promise in his spirit before it ever became visible. Moses learned that one uncontrolled moment could cost him access to the next level. Jesus himself withdrew into quiet places before releasing words that shook nations. In every case, restraint didn't weaken them, restraint amplified them. Because your words are not only declarations, they are instruments. They release unseen forces that shape your environment, attract favor, and align circumstances. What you speak touches relationships, opportunities, timing, and even the way your own mind interprets reality. That's why Scripture says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue." This is not poetry. This is law. So yes, positive declarations can build momentum, but careless speech can summon confusion, resistance, and delay. And when you consciously limit what you say, you are not shrinking, you are concentrating. You are funneling your spiritual energy into one direction, so that when the time is right, your words carry authority, clarity, and divine impact. Your silence, therefore, is not weakness. It is a sacred force, quietly weaving the unseen threads of destiny in your favor until the moment heaven signals, and what you finally speak becomes impossible to ignore. The days before your breakthrough are not ordinary. They are heavy with divine significance. In this stretch of time, everything becomes intensified, every choice, every thought, every word. What feels sudden is not sudden at all. God's calendar and your spiritual calendar are converging, and the unseen work behind the scenes is reaching its appointed hour. That is why your spirit feels the pressure, because the door is closer than it looks. The atmosphere around you is charged with potential, but only the disciplined will walk into the fullness of what is coming. And don't be surprised when pressure rises, distractions multiply, and even well-meaning voices get louder. This is not random. This is the refining. These are tests designed to measure your faith, your patience, and your obedience, because what God is about to place in your hands cannot be carried by the version of you that needed constant reassurance. This is the season where you are being purified like gold in fire. Your character is being strengthened for the weight of what is about to arrive. Every delay, every challenge, every moment of forced stillness is shaping more than the opportunity. It is shaping the person who will inherit it. David was anointed long before he was crowned. And the wilderness didn't mean he was forgotten. It meant he was being formed. So now, every decision to speak or remain silent matters more than you realize. Your restraint is not small, it is sacred. Your alignment with God's timing ensures the breakthrough ahead will not only be spectacular, but sustainable. This is the time to trust, the time to prepare, the time to understand that what you protect today will determine the magnitude of your victory tomorrow. Many of God's greatest works are hidden before they ever become visible. The quiet seasons of your life are not empty spaces. They are divine workshops where miracles are being assembled in silence. While it looks like nothing is moving, heaven is constructing what your eyes cannot yet perceive. Solutions are forming, doors are being prepared. Revelation is taking shape, and your assignment in this hidden hour is simple, but it is holy. Remain silent. Remain faithful. Let God orchestrate every detail without your interference. Picture the potter shaping clay, the wheel turns, the hands press, but the final design stays concealed until the vessel is ready. That is what God is doing with you. He is spinning circumstances, aligning people, sealing timing, and setting a stage for a breakthrough that will feel sudden, yet it has been meticulously prepared. Every silent moment you choose accelerates the process. You are building a foundation for blessings beyond what you can imagine. And hidden preparation does more than develop you, it protects you. Because premature words can expose what God is forming, and not every ear is safe for your destiny. Some voices don't just doubt you, they disturb what is still delicate. That's why Mary carried the promise quietly. And Jesus himself moved with restraint when the hour had not yet come. Remember this: the deepest transformations are rarely loud. They are quiet, deliberate, and divinely timed. Your silence now is the unseen labor that guarantees a public unveiling later. Silence is more than self-control, it is armor for the soul. Every time you restrain your tongue, you protect your dream from being diluted, delayed, or stolen. This shield doesn't only guard your opportunities, it protects your peace, your focus, and your spiritual energy. Words released too early in a season of preparation can fracture momentum and attract resistance that has been waiting for the smallest opening to step in. Think of a soldier before battle. His strength isn't only in what he carries, but in timing, restraint, and strategy. The greatest victories are won before the first strike, in the discipline no one sees. Every careless word is like exposing a weak point to the enemy. But when you practice silence, you form an invisible barrier around your destiny. You preserve what God is building. Because your miracle, no matter how great, requires protection, and your restraint becomes the first line of defense. Like Nehemiah rebuilding the wall, you don't pause to entertain distractions when the work is holy. You stay guarded, you stay focused, you keep building, and silence does more than protect, it sharpens. It heightens spiritual sensitivity. When you speak less, you hear more. You hear God more clearly, and you notice the subtle signs of alignment that noise will always drown out. That awareness gives you precision. It gives you authority. It prepares you to move at the exact moment heaven opens the door. So understand this: your silence is not absence. It is concentrated power. A shield around everything God has entrusted to your life until the day the breakthrough arrives, and you step forward with clarity, faith, and unstoppable force. Every word you speak costs something. It draws from your energy, your focus, your spiritual strength. And when you talk excessively, you don't just communicate, you disperse your life force. You leak the very bandwidth you need to carry what God is trying to release into your life. But restraint does the opposite. It preserves power. It sharpens your attention. It positions your spirit to absorb revelation fully. This is not a vague idea. This is a real law that governs breakthrough. Think of a dam holding back water. When it is managed with wisdom, it stores a massive reservoir, quiet, contained, unstoppable, ready to release life-giving force at the exact appointed moment. But every careless word is like opening a valve too soon. Potential drains out, momentum bleeds away, and you wonder why you feel tired, scattered, and delayed. When the truth is, you've been pouring out what was meant to be stored. The more disciplined you become with your speech, the greater the accumulation of spiritual energy, clarity, and momentum that will fuel your breakthrough. Silence doesn't make you weaker, it makes you heavier with purpose. It builds pressure in the spirit. It gathers strength in the unseen. And when the moment comes, what flows out of you won't be panic. It will be power. Silence also clears the mind. When you stop explaining, defending, and projecting your thoughts outward, your inner vision sharpens. You begin to recognize alignment. You sense doors before they open. You catch revelation while others miss it. Like Hannah, who carried her pain quietly until the day heaven answered with a miracle. Your stillness becomes the place where destiny is conceived. So, speaking less is not deprivation. It is preparation. It is you storing what God reserved for you, so when abundance arrives, you have the strength to hold it. Your breakthrough is not a distant dream. It is a reality already forming. God is assembling opportunities that will shift your life with force and precision, career elevation, financial release, restoration in relationships, spiritual awakening. Whatever it is, it won't be small. It will be monumental, unmistakable, and transformative. You will look back and realize heaven was building it while you thought you were just surviving. But the key to stepping fully into this season is patience and disciplined silence. Because many people miss their breakthrough, not because God didn't send it, but because it arrived quietly at first, hidden inside ordinary moments. A random meeting, an unexpected message, a sudden insight that hits your spirit like lightning. It looks minor on the outside, but it carries the seed of life-altering change. And this is where the chosen are separated from the careless. The ones who speak too soon expose the door before it opens. The ones who act impulsively move out of timing and lose the advantage. But the disciplined observer recognizes the sign, holds steady, and steps forward at the appointed moment with authority. Like Joseph, who didn't force the crown, he endured the process until the door opened from the inside. And when it opened, it could not be reversed. Remember this: your breakthrough is proof of God's hidden work. It is not something you can manufacture, force, or accelerate with words. It is the fruit of preparation, patience, and alignment. And when it arrives, it will be undeniable, dramatic, joyful, and so clear that you will finally understand. Your silence wasn't passive. It was the key that unlocked favor. God's timing is nothing like human timing. It is precise, flawless, and engineered for maximum impact. What feels delayed is not denial, it is synchronization. Heaven is aligning details you cannot see, arranging outcomes you could never force. And if you speak too soon or try to push what God is holding, you can disturb the orchestration, causing blessings to arrive in fragments instead of fullness. Patience is not passivity. It is active agreement with God's plan. It is the strength to stand still while heaven moves. It is allowing Him to unveil your breakthrough at the exact moment it carries the greatest weight. Think of a sunrise. You can't rush it, no matter how desperate you are for light. The darkness before dawn isn't pointless. It's necessary. It prepares the sky for glory. In the same way, your silent season is essential preparation. God is not only shifting your circumstances, He is refining your soul. And when the breakthrough appears, it won't be faint or questionable. It will be radiant, undeniable, perfectly timed. Like Lazarus coming forth after it seemed too late, it will carry a message that cannot be argued with. Heaven was never late. Heaven was intentional. Those who rush God often miss the fullness of what He meant to reveal. Because timing doesn't just deliver the miracle, it delivers authority. When you step into your breakthrough at the appointed moment, you enter with clarity, wisdom, and confidence. Your decisions carry weight, your words carry influence, your actions carry alignment. God's perfect timing turns ordinary moments into divine milestones. And your discipline, now your restraint, your trust, your silence, is what ensures you will be ready to hold it when the morning finally breaks. Even in silence, God is speaking. Not always with thunder, often with whispers, subtle signs, coincidences, quiet impressions. They are clues that your miracle is taking shape. You may notice unusual doors opening without effort, unexpected people crossing your path, or sudden bursts of clarity that feel too precise to be random. These moments are not accidents, they are signals. They are divine whispers, guiding you, confirming alignment, preparing you to recognize the breakthrough when it arrives. Pay attention to your inner peace. Pay attention to the calm that doesn't make sense. Sometimes the absence of chaos, no confusion, no urge to explain yourself, no pressure to prove anything, is the very sign that God is moving quietly behind the scenes. Because when God is building something sacred, He often removes the noise so you can sense the shift. The silent season may look like inactivity, but destiny is moving fast in the unseen. The gears are turning, the pieces are aligning, and the ones who are alert, reflective, and discerning will notice the patterns and move with wisdom, while the distracted will walk past open doors without even realizing they were answered prayers. Scripture has always revealed this pattern. Joseph waited through the pit and the prison before authority found him. David endured years hidden in caves before the crown ever touched his head. And Esther was positioned in silence before the moment she was called to speak, and history changed. In every case, the quiet season was overflowing with invisible preparation. So, if your season feels long, if it feels uncertain, don't assume God is absent. These subtle signals are confirmations. Heaven is in motion, and your obedience is being rewarded even when no one can see it yet. Patience is the silent companion of faith, and discipline is the framework that allows divine favor to manifest fully in this season. Restraint is not a burden, it is training. It is the unseen battlefield where lasting victory is formed. Every time you resist the urge to speak too soon, argue, defend yourself, or act impulsively, something in you grows stronger. Your spiritual muscles are being built for a reality where blessings don't arrive half-made, they arrive complete. Because discipline doesn't just attract miracles, it prepares you to keep them. Character is what makes favor sustainable. It's one thing to receive a breakthrough, it's another to steward it without losing yourself. Without patience and restraint, sudden blessing can become fleeting or even wasted, because the old version of you wasn't trained to carry the new weight. That's why God often strengthens the vessel before he pours. He doesn't just want to give you something, he wants to establish you. This is how the chosen are healed. Not by temporary comfort, but by awakened identity. You begin to realize you were built for endurance. You were called for stewardship. You were marked for longevity. Like Daniel, who remained disciplined in a hostile environment and still rose with honor, your quiet obedience now is building the foundation for lasting impact, influence, and spiritual authority. And yes, the fruits of discipline are not always immediate, but when they emerge, they are undeniable, transformative, impossible to fake. Patience and discipline also guard your peace. When you surrender control and wait for God's timing, you step out of anxiety, out of doubt, out of confusion. Your energy stays aligned with heaven, and your faith becomes unshakable. So understand this: every silent, disciplined moment you embrace today is an investment into the glory, the clarity, and the abundance of tomorrow. Words spoken in haste can invite battles you were never assigned to fight. When you reveal plans, visions, or breakthroughs before God's appointed time, you don't just share, you dilute, you expose. You attract criticism, doubt, and even spiritual resistance that was waiting for a target. What you uncover too early can be twisted by circumstances, mishandled by people, or weakened by fear, until the blessing you were meant to receive arrives smaller than heaven intended. That is why silence is not only discipline, it is defense, strategic protection. Because early disclosure makes destiny vulnerable. A colleague may interfere without meaning to. A friend may plant doubt with one careless sentence. And forces you can't see may seize what was never meant to be public. Every word carries consequence, and premature sharing can disrupt the delicate alignment God is orchestrating in the unseen. So guard what is sacred. Keep your intentions covered. Keep your breakthrough protected. When you hold your peace, you preserve divine momentum. You keep the flame from being exposed to wind before it becomes fire. This is how God preserves his work, hidden until it is strong enough to stand. And this pattern has always been seen in spiritual history. Those who rushed often met unnecessary resistance, but those who waited, watched, and trusted timing received their inheritance in full. Like Jesus, who did not move until the hour had come, your restraint now is protection, ensuring that when your breakthrough is finally revealed, it arrives unshakable, undeniable, and intact. God's plan is deliberate and meticulous. Your breakthrough will not be chaotic or random. It will unfold with divine precision. At first, it will look small, almost easy to overlook. A conversation that feels ordinary, a quiet opportunity, a subtle shift in circumstances. But these little moments are not isolated. They are the first stones of a foundation being laid under your feet. And this is why silence matters. When you observe quietly, you begin to recognize the pattern. You stop calling it coincidence, and you start seeing sequence. Like Ruth, who thought she was simply gathering scraps in a field, you may think you're just surviving another day until you realize you've been led directly into the place where favor was waiting. Then the convergence begins. Opportunities connect in ways you couldn't plan. The right people appear at the right time. Doors open where there was nothing but walls. Resources show up with no logical explanation. This is not happenstance, this is orchestration. God is positioning details you could never force, aligning them with your readiness, not just your desire. Silence keeps you sharp in this stage. It keeps you alert, focused, and spiritually sensitive, so you don't miss what heaven is setting in motion. Because when you're quiet, you can hear the shift. You can sense the opening. You can move with precision instead of panic. And finally, it erupts. What began as something small becomes undeniable. Circumstances change. Goals are reached. Chains break. Your life starts reflecting a pattern that could only have been written by God. And by remaining silent, patient, and faithful, you don't just witness the breakthrough, you step into it fully, receiving God's favor, complete, powerful, and life-altering. Silence is not emptiness. It is an active spiritual weapon. In stillness, you don't lose power, you gather it. You cultivate clarity, strength, and divine resonance. Every moment you restrain yourself is shaping you into a vessel capable of carrying authority, insight, and favor without collapsing under the weight of it. And when you finally speak from that place of preparation, your words won't sound ordinary. They will carry weight, conviction, influence, not because you became louder, but because you became aligned. Silence matures your voice before it ever reaches the room. It trains your spirit to release words that don't just communicate, they shift atmospheres. Your silence also becomes a magnet for revelation. When the mind is quiet and the heart is tuned to heaven, inspiration flows freely. You begin to perceive doors, solutions, and hidden opportunities that others cannot see, because their energy is scattered in constant noise. Like Elisha, who could discern what was happening beyond the visible, your stillness sharpens your spiritual sight. By embracing stillness, you are being positioned as a leader, a conduit of God's will, a steward of extraordinary blessing. Silence fosters humility and dependence on God. It reminds you that breakthroughs are not produced by striving alone, but by divine orchestration. And when you move from this place, your actions carry discernment, your decisions carry grace, and your words carry authority. What once felt unattainable becomes accessible, not because the mountain shrank, but because you are now aligned, prepared, and empowered to climb it. And then, the day arrives. The silent season, the discipline, the restraint, everything converges into a breakthrough that cannot be ignored. What was once only a whisper in your spirit becomes visible in your life. Opportunities open with unmistakable clarity. Relationships are restored. Finances shift. Callings are revealed with a force you cannot explain away. The same areas that felt locked for years suddenly move, as if heaven was simply waiting for the right moment to turn the key. What seemed hidden or delayed is now undeniable and life-transforming. But understand, this is more than achieving a goal. This is a divine witness, a testament to patience, obedience, and faith. The miracle doesn't only change what surrounds you, it changes what's within you. It refines your character, deepens your trust, and awakens a strength you didn't know you carried. Like Job, who came through the storm with greater clarity of God, you don't just receive restoration, you receive revelation. Every quiet moment you embraced mattered. Every word you withheld. Every time you chose restraint over reaction. Every time you refused to explain yourself when your flesh wanted to defend. It all became weight in the spirit, building the magnitude of what is now being revealed. And as you step into this new reality, you don't only carry the blessing, you carry wisdom, authority, discernment, the kind that can only be earned in hidden places. Your life becomes living proof. God works in quiet preparation. He honors discipline. He rewards faithfulness with transformations that are dramatic, enduring, and undeniably His. And the silence that once felt like waiting now reveals itself as the catalyst of your divine destiny. Divine timing is an art that surpasses human understanding. Opportunities will appear suddenly, almost out of nowhere. But what feels unexpected is never unprepared. These moments are the climax of unseen preparation. What you call coincidence is actually precision. God has been aligning people, resources, and circumstances so that when the door opens, it opens fully, effortlessly, at the exact appointed moment. And the ones who have stayed patient and disciplined will recognize the sign and move with confidence, not confusion. Most people expect opportunities to arrive in predictable ways, but God's timing can be startling, even to the vigilant. A chance conversation, an unexpected invitation, a sudden insight that pierces your spirit like a flash of light. One moment, nothing seems to be moving, and the next, everything shifts. That's how heaven works. And those who refuse to force progress, those who didn't announce their plans too early, find themselves positioned, ready, steady, able to seize what arrives without scrambling. Because divine timing doesn't just deliver the breakthrough, it multiplies the impact. A door opening at the wrong time can become a burden, but a door opening in God's schedule reshapes your life entirely. That is why your patience matters. It ensures that when your opportunity surfaces, it carries the full weight of heaven's blessing, manifesting beyond expectation and multiplying beyond imagination. Like Peter, who toiled all night and caught nothing, then saw overflow at one word from Jesus. The shift can happen in a single moment when timing meets obedience. And yes, divine timing tests faith. The silent season can feel slow, uncomfortable, uncertain, but it is intentional. Every pause, every delay, every moment of restraint is refining your readiness. And when the sudden opportunity comes, it will be unmistakable, a divine signal that God has moved, and your obedience has positioned you to receive with authority, clarity, and power. There are unseen forces at work in your life right now, delicately arranging circumstances to bring your breakthrough into view. Heaven is not watching from a distance, it is moving. Angels are dispatched. Divine intervention is active. Doors are being opened, resources are being positioned, obstacles are being removed, and it's happening quietly, without announcement. While your eyes see stillness, the spirit realm is orchestrating motion with precision and care. These hidden hands move in silence. That's why a promotion can appear random. A connection can feel like luck. Provision can arrive at the last possible second. But it isn't luck. It's alignment. It's meticulous preparation unfolding beyond human control. And to honor this unseen work, you need faith and you need discipline, especially the discipline to stay quiet, to stop forcing progress, and to stop trying to make the miracle happen with your own hands. When you understand that your journey is being guided beyond what you can control, something in you heals. Anxiety loosens its grip. Pressure breaks. Because you realize you are not navigating alone. Divine orchestration is clearing paths, redirecting delays, and arranging every detail so you arrive at the right place, at the right time, in the right condition to receive what was promised. Like Philip being led to the desert road at the exact moment the Ethiopian needed revelation, heaven can guide steps so precisely it feels impossible. And when you acknowledge this unseen support, gratitude rises and trust deepens. Your silence becomes a tribute to the process room for God to work fully behind the scenes. Every hidden hand is ensuring that when your moment arrives, it will be flawless, impactful, and unmistakably supernatural. One of the clearest signs of divine orchestration is this: obstacles begin to disappear without explanation. What once looked impossible starts fading, as if an unseen hand is moving pieces you could never shift on your own. And no, this is not coincidence. This is the result of staying silent, staying patient, and staying aligned with God's plan when everything in you wanted to take control. Because many problems linger when we intervene too early. The more you try to force a solution, the more resistance you can create: delays, confusion, unnecessary battles. But the ones who resist impulsive action begin to witness something different. Barriers dissolve effortlessly. Doors open cleanly. Breakthroughs arrive with a grace that feels almost supernatural, because it is. Imagine a road once blocked by boulders, suddenly cleared. No struggle, no noise, just space to move forward. That is what happens in the spirit when you hold quiet faith. Each challenge removed becomes evidence of favor, and it teaches you something that heals you deeply. Restraint is not weakness, it is wisdom. When obstacles vanish quietly, your trust in God's timing strengthens, because you realize heaven is powerful enough to move what you cannot. You learn that results don't require frantic activity or loud declarations. Like Jehoshaphat, who watched God fight battles he couldn't win by human strength, you begin to understand that alignment carries more force than effort. So, stay patient, stay disciplined, stay still, because every obstacle removed is part of a seamless unfolding preparing you for the moment your miracle becomes undeniable. There comes a moment when your character, your patience, and your faithfulness begin to speak louder than anything you could ever say. People start noticing your integrity, your commitment, your spiritual alignment without you explaining, defending, or justifying yourself. A reputation built quietly in the background becomes magnetic. It draws opportunities, allies, and recognition, not through noise, but through weight. And that influence is the fruit of discipline. Because when you refuse unnecessary arguments, boasting, and self-promotion, your actions carry authority. Others can sense it. They recognize your achievements are rooted in authenticity, divine guidance, and timing, not ego, not performance. And being known without pushing yourself forward is both humbling and powerful. Doors begin to open. Invitations arrive. Support flows not because you demanded it, but because your silence and consistency proved you were ready. Reliable, stable, built for what you're stepping into. People naturally align with quiet strength. They trust the one who doesn't panic. They follow the one who doesn't need applause to keep moving. Like Mordecai, who stayed faithful in obscurity until honor found him publicly, your steady obedience becomes a signal that heaven can trust you with more. Ultimately, your reputation is an extension of God's work within you. It becomes visible proof of unseen preparation, patience, and obedience. And when your breakthrough arrives, your influence will go ahead of you, clearing the path, amplifying the impact, and making it undeniable that this favor was never manufactured by words, it was established by God. Sometimes God speaks through the people you meet when you least expect it. A brief encounter can carry guidance, confirmation, encouragement, sometimes even the key to a door you didn't know existed. These moments look random on the surface, but when your spirit is awake, you realize they are messages. Strategic alignment, divine placement. In the silent season, coincidences are rarely coincidences. A chance meeting, a timely conversation, an unplanned connection can deliver the exact wisdom or resource needed to advance your purpose. But you won't recognize it with a noisy mind. It takes attentiveness, intuition, a heart tuned to divine signals. And often these encounters come as confirmation, repeated themes, repeated words, repeated nudges. A person shows up at the right moment and says something that hits too deep to ignore, like heaven just used their mouth to reach your spirit. Your patience and silence sharpen your awareness. You begin to see what distracted people miss. You catch the pattern. You notice the timing. Like the servant who met Rebecca at the well at the exact moment the answer was waiting, you start realizing God can guide a life with precision that feels impossible. And these unexpected messages teach you trust and humility. They remind you God's plan is active, intelligent, and perfectly timed. So stay open, stay observant, stay obedient. Because one encounter, one sentence, one moment that looked ordinary can become the turning point that shifts everything on your journey to fulfillment and breakthrough. God places the right people in your life at the exact right time because destiny does not move alone. These individuals are not random. They are positioned, assigned, strategically placed to open doors, release wisdom, expose hidden pathways, and accelerate what you could not accelerate by effort. And when these alignments happen, it can feel sudden, almost unreal, but it was never sudden in heaven. It was orchestrated long before your eyes could recognize it. Some will arrive as mentors, some as collaborators, some as unexpected challengers, people who ignite something in you that comfort never could. Even the ones who pressure you are often part of the process, because God doesn't only send people to support you, He sends people to sharpen you, to stretch you, to pull the dormant greatness out of hiding. That is why your silent season mattered. It trained you to observe without rushing, to discern without performing, to recognize who is assigned to your next level without giving your power away too early. Because timing is everything. Meeting the right person too soon can still be wrong. Forcing a connection can derail what God was protecting. Some doors only open when you're ready to walk through them without shrinking, without begging, without losing yourself. That's why patience wasn't punishment, it was preparation. It ensured that when the right people stepped into your path, the moment would carry weight, and the favor on it would be undeniable. And hear this, every person who appears at the appointed time is proof that God's hidden work is active. Heaven has been paving roads you never saw, clearing resistance you never had to fight, building opportunities that once looked impossible. And when divine favor begins to move, it rarely arrives in a way that makes sense to the mind. It comes with precision that defies logic. It comes with speed that silences doubt. It comes with connections that feel like prophecy unfolding in real time. So, if your life has felt like collapse, if you've been broken, tested, misunderstood, delayed, don't call that weakness. That was evidence. Evidence that you were being trained for weight. Evidence that you were being refined for power. The pain was not proof you were abandoned, it was proof you were being forged. Because ordinary people don't get pressed like this. Unmarked people don't get purified like this. What tried to destroy you only revealed what was inside you. Divine strength, divine endurance, divine fire. You were not kept in the dark to be punished. You were hidden to be protected. You were stripped so you could be rebuilt. You were silenced so you could be aligned. And now, the shift is here. The connections are appearing, the doors are unlocking, the obstacles are dissolving, and the version of you that survived the silent season is not the same version that is about to step into what God has prepared. This is not a message meant to comfort you. This is a summons. You are being led. You are being marked. You are being called into greatness, not later, not one day, but in the unfolding right now. And the reason you can feel the tension in the air, the reason your spirit won't settle, is because you are standing at the edge of something that is already moving toward you. Stay disciplined, stay sharp, stay quiet enough to hear heaven, because what is about to open will not wait for hesitation. And once you step through it, there will be no going back. Something is already shifting behind the next door. Father, in the name of Jesus, I come before you in silence, not because I have nothing to say, but because I finally understand what my words have been interrupting. Teach me the sacred discipline of restraint. Stitch my lips when my flesh wants to explain, defend, prove, or expose what you are still forming in the unseen. Let my silence become a shield over my destiny, a covering over my breakthrough, and a sanctuary where your voice becomes clearer than my fear. Purify my speech, align my spirit, and strengthen my faith to wait without anxiety. I surrender control, I release impatience, and I trust your timing completely. What you planted in me will not die in my mouth. I will guard it. I will protect it. And when the moment comes, I will speak with authority only what heaven has written. Amen. If you're still here, that matters. Subscribe and stay connected as this channel grows toward 20,000 subscribers. Every connection strengthens the impact of this message. In the comments, write 999 or 777, and be sure to share your city and location so we know where this message is reaching. Your interaction helps this message continue moving, and your support through super thanks helps it reach even further. What if the very breakthrough you've been begging God for is already on the way? But your mouth is the only thing still delaying it. Amen.